Hi guys, Christina here. Today on It Is a Keeper, I'm showing you how to make crispy, crunchy finger steaks. This is such a fun recipe that originated in Idaho. Tender cube steak is cut into strips and coated in a crispy crust and baked to perfection. I want to thank the New York Beef Council for sponsoring this video. They asked me to create a video showing you these incredible Idaho finger steaks. My family loves them and I think yours will too. Now make sure you check out the New York Beef Council for more information and more delicious recipes. There's a link in the description below. Now, back to these finger steaks. Okay, so the first thing we need to do to make these Idaho finger steaks is we need to prepare our baking rack. So here I have a rimmed baking sheet and I just have a wire rack, an oven-safe wire rack. There's no rubber feet on it or anything. You don't want that on there. And I'm setting it inside the wire rack because we want the air and the heat to be able to get underneath our finger steaks and crisp them up because we are going to oven fry these. So we're gonna skip all the heavy grease and we're gonna cook these right in the oven. So here I just have some nonstick cooking spray and I'm gonna give my wire rack a nice coating so nothing sticks. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to set this aside and we're going to work on preparing our steak. Here I have about a pound of cube steaks. Now I want you to look at these cube steaks, right? Cube steak is a more tough cut of beef, but what happens is they put it through a mechanical tenderizer that makes all these little indentations and really tenderizes the meat. So it takes a tougher cut and makes it nice and tender, and they are so perfect for these finger steaks. This is a great cut of meat, and what's really awesome about it that I love is it's super affordable, very affordable because it is a tougher cut of meat. So I have about a pound to a pound and a half of cube steaks. Oh, and they may also be called Swiss steaks, so you can check for that in your grocery store as well. And we need to season these up. So I have my burger seasoning blend here. I'm just going to put a nice coating. I'm only coating one side of the steak. There's really no need to coat two. These are gonna be cut down nice and small, so you don't have to worry about putting too much of the seasoning on both sides. So I find that one side is fine because we're gonna put some of the seasoning into the coating as well. All right, and I'm kind of pressing it in, let's see, a little bit more. And this is my homemade burger seasoning blend. I will share the recipe in the video description below so you can find it there. So these look perfect. Now we need to slice them up. So we want them to be like the size of a finger. So just nice and thin, so sort of like, sort of like that, right? The size of a finger. Not too thick, not too thin. Beef is such a great protein to cook with. It's high in protein, number one, and it's part of a good, healthy diet. I mean, it gives you everything you need. There's a lot of essential vitamins and nutrients that are within beef, so it's a great food to feed your family and to make as part of a healthy, balanced diet. Okay, so we have all of our steak cut up here. I'm just going to set those aside on my plate. We'll come back to those in a minute. Okay, so the next step in making our finger steaks is we need to make our crispy, crunchy coating that goes onto the steaks. And this is a little hack that I use to make something oven fried so that you get that crispy fried texture without all the excess grease and fat. So we start with cornflakes, right? Cornflakes are going to make this nice and crispy. And don't worry, it won't taste like breakfast cereal. Now we're going to add the flavor to the cornflakes. Here I have some French fried onions, those ones that go on the top of the green bean casserole. We're going to put some of those in there as well. You're gonna get that nice oniony flavor and you're gonna be like, what is that? It just gives you a little something in there that you might not be able to put your finger on, but it tastes so good. Okay, and then we're going to continue with the burger seasoning blend. We're gonna put a little bit more in here. Not too much, just a little bit to give it some flavor. Okay, and then we're going to pulse this until everything is in a nice fine crumb. All right, we just don't want any big pieces of cornflake, and that looks perfect. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna transfer my cornflakes to a shallow bowl. So we have our crumbs here. Next up, we need to make an egg mixture. So here I have 4 eggs. Okay, so we have our eggs. I'm just gonna get those nice and whisked up. Let's get that into a shallow bowl as well. Okay, so we have all of our components ready to make these finger steaks. So I'm gonna set up a little bit of an assembly line here so we can do this really quick. So I have my egg mixture, my cornflake crumbs, and the seasoned steaks. So really all you have to do here is just take your steak. This is where kids like to help. Dip it in the egg, make sure everything's coated, then into the breadcrumbs, and your fingers are gonna get messy. But you wanna kind of press those breadcrumbs in. Make sure your baking sheet's next to you before you get the cornflake fingers. And then lay the steak onto the prepared baking sheet. So we're just going to do that with all of these steaks and get them nice and coated. It's messy, there's no way around it. What's really great is with all the divots made in the cube steak, the crumbs just really get into there and give it it's a nice place for those crumbs to kind of like hang out and really make a crispy coating. Okay, so our finger steaks are coated in their crispy, crunchy crust. We're going to pop them into a preheated oven. They only take about 15 minutes because they're nice and thin, and we don't want to overcook them. So we're gonna be checking them for temperature as they're cooking. Now, I'm doing these in the oven. You could easily do these in an air fryer, or you could do them, you can actually fry them in take a cast iron skillet with some oil and fry them that way. It's entirely up to you. I like the oven version because I don't get all that extra fat in with it. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven. Okay, so our finger steaks are done. Ooh, they look so good. They look so good. So let's get them transferred to a platter and dig in. Look, oh, I could feel how crunchy they are. I'm just gently lifting them off the rack. They should come right off because remember we sprayed it. There we go. Oh God, they smell amazing. I can smell those French fried onions. Just look at this plate of crispy deliciousness. Now, rumor has it, you can find finger steaks on restaurant menus across Idaho. It's just an Idaho thing, and I am so glad that I brought this to the Northeast because these are incredible. Now, they're smoking hot, but I don't care, I'm going in. So you just pick it up, total finger food, dip it. I'm using this smoky campfire sauce. Can you hear this crunching? You guys, these are incredible. They're so crispy, they're so flavorful. The sauce is amazing. These are the perfect quick dinner idea on the table in about 30 minutes. This recipe is a keeper. Thanks for watching. You can get the full printable recipe in the video description below. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss a single thing, and check out the rest of my videos where you can find more of my favorite easy recipes and quick tips. I'll see you next time. Bye.